The Disney Vault, a famous part of Disney history. The idea that a movie you like would be unavailable and put away for an undetermined amount of time. If you're a fan of Disney, or any Disney movie, you are probably aware of the Disney Vault. But why did Disney do this? Why would they keep some of their best movies off the shelves? Was it just greed? Is the Disney Vault even real? Is there more to the story? Yes.
Coming soon to theaters.
For starters, let's look at when the Disney Vault was created. The Disney Vault is actually a real place, located in Glendale, California. There's not a ton known about this building. It has been described as Disney's Area 51, but what we do know is that inside this building houses 12 vaults. Not only did they house all of Disney's animated films as early as Snow White, it also housed the original sketches, art, and even full-scale puppets from The Nightmare Before Christmas, estimated to hold about 65 million pieces of art. This building has precise climate control, a full in-depth catalog, and heavy security. Needless to say, Disney does not mess around when it comes to their properties. So what about the Disney Vault we all know and loathe? Well, the start of the metaphorical Disney Vault started all the way back in 1944. During World War II, Disney was struggling both creatively and financially. Their films, since the release of Snow White in 1937, were nowhere near commercial successes, and since significant time has passed and VHS and DVDs weren't invented yet, Disney decided to re-release Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in the theaters again, and it was a success, with audience who saw the original release and loved it, but it also managed to capture a new audience. Disney saw the success and to standardize the practice of releasing then withholding their animated classics. This practice continued to the popularization of VHS, where Disney decided to keep this business model but pivoted to include home releases. This is where we see the term, the Disney Vault, popularized, as they began to release their most popular films and collections. Starting in 2001, Disney re-released Snow White on DVD and VHS under the banner The Platinum Collection.
On video and premiering on Disney DVD Autumn 2001 for a limited time.
This release schedule went like this. Disney would announce a movie coming to storage under this collection. It would be put on shelves and you had about 3 months to buy it or it would be gone for good. They tried to spice it up when Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King were slated to release under the Platinum Collection. They also received an IMAX release prior to the respective DVD and VHS release. Though an IMAX release for Aladdin was planned, it was scrapped and this ended the IMAX release practice. The model of re-releasing a film in stores for only 3 months continued for a total of 13 films. These films included Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Aladdin, Bambi, Cinderella, The Lady and the Tramp, The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan, The Jungle Book, 101 Dalmatians, Sleeping Beauty, and Pinocchio. And after Pinocchio, the Platinum Collection ended in 2009. So, what does Disney do when they run out of movies to re-release? Well, just wash, rinse, and repeat, starting in 2009 with the Blu-ray release of yet again Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There was a few key differences between the Diamond Collection and the previous Platinum Collection. These releases would see an 18-month shelf time before they were put back into the vault. Similar to the IMAX treatment of the Platinum Collection, some films received a collector's version, but this was quickly discontinued. Notably, all 13 films from the last collection would return to the Disney Collection except for Pinocchio. So here we are again. What does Disney do when they run out of movies to re-release? Just reduce, reuse, and recycle. Not only were these Blu-ray releases, they also included a digital HD and Disney Movie Anywhere. Now, Disney Movies Anywhere was a platform where users could connect their iTunes and Google Play accounts so they could have all their Disney titles in one spot. So you would receive either an iTunes code that could connect to Disney Movies Anywhere, or you would receive a code for both. Now, Disney Movies Anywhere eventually shut down in 2017, being replaced by the current platform Movies Anywhere. Now, this is the last time we see any of these movies getting re-released individually. A few of these did eventually also get a 4K re-release, but as they are, if you wanted Aladdin or The Lion King on a Blu-ray and DVD disc by itself, these were the definitive edition to get. But now, because of the rise of streaming and the now infamous Disney Plus, we got one more Blu-ray release of these movies, but on a grand scale. For the 100-year anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, they decided to do what Disney does best and capitalize. with one of the most ambitious collections ever, a Blu-ray collection of 100 movies, including all Disney animated films from 1937 to 2023. However, not including any of the direct-to-DVD sequels. So, if you're an Aladdin 2 fan, maybe skip out on this collection. However, they do include every Pixar movie and its sequels up to Elementals. And you can own all of these movies on Blu-ray, a collectible crystal Mickey ears hat, a lithograph from Disney's Wish, the film to celebrate the 100-year anniversary, and a certificate of authenticity for the low price of $1,500. But why was the Disney Vault so popular? Like, why did they keep redoing it? You would expect customers to like predict this and see this happening. However, the Disney Vault had a huge impact on consumers. With piracy unavailable to the masses due to the infancy of the internet, consumers believed that these collections were the only way to access these beloved movies. So when Aladdin would return back to Disney Vault, it would have a second life on websites like eBay, where prices for these DVDs would skyrocket, putting desperate fans into a position where they would need to fork over huge amounts of money just to get their hands on a copy. And from growing up in this era of Disney, felt a sense of FOMO when these collections would come and go, which obviously were done on purpose. But some of these films gained a popularity that I don't believe they deserve. For example, rewatching Snow White, it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie, but it's alright. Yet, it's amazing what they were able to pull off, but the movie itself isn't amazing. It's definitely not a movie worth the hype that the Vault gave it, but the sense if you wanted to check it out and you couldn't if you didn't get a copy during its release, then you were out of luck. And for a lot of Disney fans, that did the trick. Disney can suck as a company for a majority of the time, but I have to hand it to them. They marketed films that didn't deserve the amount of hype it got, but because it was the first film and it was limited, it went further than, in my opinion, it probably should have. Now, with Disney Plus coming out in 2019, and according to Disney in 2022, the Disney Vault as we have come to know it is officially dead. However, not every movie is out of the vault. One film is still in the vault, and according to Bob Iger, in 2010 and in 2020, it will never leave the vault. The movie I'm talking about is The Song of the South. And I won't go into why they won't re-release it. I think it's pretty obvious why they're going to keep this vaulted forever. Personally, I think we can all live without this movie having a new public release. I've never seen it, and I'm more than fine keeping it that way. The Disney Vault, a relic of the past. For as awful as it was for making media accessible for everyone, it was a great business strategy. And now that all these movies and more are on Disney Plus, it is now easier and way cheaper to see films. However, as we all know, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Because in this age of digital media, we should be able to access all Disney movies ever. But that's not the case. Real world example. Me and my friend Thomas wanted to rewatch the Disney Channel original movie, 16 Wishes. You've all seen it if you grew up on Disney Channel. It's a pretty classic. However, it's nowhere to be found on Disney Plus. A Disney Channel original movie. A Disney movie that was made 14 years ago is inaccessible on the, and quote from their website, dedicated streaming homes for movies and shows from Disney. Now, I understand why a lot of Marvel stuff didn't make it to the platform at first because of contracts and because of legal things, but Disney made this movie. They own this completely. This is not tied with another company. There wasn't like a licensing deal with like Fox, or there wasn't a licensing deal with Hulu or another company that they don't own yet. I don't know if I'm missing something, but any reason I feel like isn't good enough to justify that a Disney-made movie hasn't been on their platform that's been around for about 5 years. Anyway, I'm getting too heated about a Disney Channel movie. The new age of digital media is amazing. Also, it equally sucks. At least this time, Disney will keep things affordable for the foreseeable future, right?